I've recorded four videos. Four videos. All of them are about 10 minutes. And yesterday, Friday, I recorded one. Saturday, I recorded one. Yesterday, I edited those videos only to feel like they didn't deliver the message I wanted to deliver. They were so chaotic, as you can imagine. I'll probably post one of them, but I want to make my announcement. The announcement I was supposed to make yesterday, I want to make my announcement. This is going to be a bit long or short, but please watch the next video. So, I have decided to turn yet another hobby into a project. I have decided to turn another hobby that has helped me health-wise into a project. So, in 2022, the late 2022, I started feeling sick a lot, like all the time. I was sick here, sick there, to the point that I had to have an emergency surgery in 2023, early 2023, like emergency. I wasn't expecting it, nobody was expecting it, the doctor said no. It just came and it had to be done, And after that, I found myself restricted from a lot of things that I enjoy, like a lot of things that if you're a snack person, I'm a chewy person. I want to be chewing things. But I don't like gum. Chewy person, like I like to chew on stuff, So, I started feeling frustrated and limited in the things that I was allowed to eat, the things that I wanted to eat personally because of my health and also because I wanted to be in good shape, because I'm not working this hard to end up sick when I'm old. No. And 23 was like a warning sign. I feel like it was a warning from the universe telling me to, hey, be careful. You are no longer a teenager. You can't afford to be eating all of the sugar around. You're no longer a kid. You can't afford to be chewing chocomilo as if you're mad. You get it? So I started in 2023, like May 2023, when I started doing Purple Leaf classes. My students, forgive me, but I was using most of you for experiments, I started experimenting with friends and family, and I just told myself, wait, I like to bake. I've always liked to bake. It was baking before soaps. Whenever I tell the story of Purple Leaf, I keep telling people that the soaps was a mistake. You see, a baking kit turned into, it just came, and I fell in love with it. It came and I realized that I could solve issues with it. It came and I realized that, my skin would love this. My family, they were liking it. Friends, they would love it. So why not give it to the public? Do you understand? But baking was there. And I know most of you will testify. For a very long time, even before I got sick, I'll be making the birthday cakes, the wedding cakes, the brownies, the cookies, the mixing moringa and things to bake something to eat, you get it. But then they were so full of sugar. I was using generic recipes, And that's something that I couldn't afford to do anymore after my episode in 2023. I couldn't afford to bring myself to follow the recipes that require so much sugar into them. And as you know, I like to research. I like to experiment. I am my first lab rabbit, and then of course, you. So, mid 2023, I started experimenting with all of us. If you've come to the house, if you've come to visit, and I've given you a box of cookies, I've given you a pack of cookies, I've given you some banana bread, I've given you some cinnamon rolls, I've given you some brownies, whatever baked thing I've given to you since 2023 has been an experiment. guilty as charged. but, but, a healthy experiment, a research into something bigger, a research into something that I'm about to put out there, okay? So I started what I was doing with the things I was baking for every single Purple Leaf workshop, for every single Purple Leaf single class, there was something baked. For every single family gathering, there was something. It's that kid's birthday, it's that nephew's birthday, it's that niece's birthday, it's that friend's birthday. I'm baking something. I was using those opportunities to reduce the presence of sugar in most of those baked goods. So some of you may have noticed, some of you probably not, because I did a good job. Of course, it's me. I started reducing the sugar in almost everything I was baking. And then I noticed that, okay, we are reducing the sugar, but there's still sugar. So I started reading and started talking to some nutritionists. I personally had to speak to a nutritionist for my health. It was a hormonal related issue, okay? So we started making sugar the enemy. Not the direct enemy, but how much sugar, okay? How much sugar, processed sugar, refined sugar, not the sugar that occurs naturally in food. Because I'm not going, if you come and tell me Kenkey also has sugar, I'm not giving up on that. Okay? Okay. So, refined sugar, processed sugar, I started reducing it. And I realized that there's still sugar. Reduced or full carb, there is still sugar. So how do I keep having my favorite baked goods, my favorite, because I like doughy, chewy stuffs, okay? So how do I keep having my favorite baked goods, but with zero sugar? And gradually, like, so if you started with a cup of sugar, it came down to half a cup, and then a quarter of a cup, a teaspoon of a cup, teaspoon of a cup, wow, okay, like a teaspoon of sugar. But then I was still using other things to maintain the sweetness, okay? And last year I did more. Last year was even more. Last year almost every Purple Leaf workshop had something, and I'll have the students going, oh Gina, I think we should stop the class, and we should stop the soap baking class, and soap baking class. We should stop the soap training, the soap workshop, and teach us how to bake. After that, we'll go back to this. Like, also, you know, my students, they're like me. If you haven't met my students, hello, I'm my students, okay? So every time that they'll say that, I'll just be smiling to myself and saying in my head, oh my ladies, you have no idea what I am planning for all of us. Okay, so I managed, okay, I picked specifically like 6 of my favorite baked desserts and managed to completely remove the refined sugar, completely remove the processed sugar from the recipes. I started creating the recipes. I started putting down different things, how to reduce the gluten, how to reduce the sugar, how to take it out, what can replace what is more healthy. And I tried with a lot of plant-based sugar replacements, but every time I pick something like stevia, I feel like, I know stevia to be a plant. It's green. I use some for soap making. I have a client whose soap and skincare business is based on that. He has a farm. So I am privileged enough to be getting the raw form of stevia. So when I see the powdered stevia, I'm like, what else went into this? Because this is not powder, okay? So I wasn't happy, and I delayed a little bit more. Towards the end of 2024 and the beginning of this year, I noticed that, okay, I know where honey comes from. where I get the honey for pepper leaf, I always tell people like when you are making pepper leaf soaps, I'm always tempted to just lick the honey because I know the direct source. I've seen the farm. Nothing else is going into it. Okay, nothing else is being added to make it sweeter. Dates are fruits. Okay, I know how dates look like. Why don't I use dates? So I fell in love with how dates made some of the baked goods feel, and I fell in love with how honey also made them feel. But then, of course, it's not sugar. It's the texture of the products were different. The texture of the finished goods were a bit different from what I was used to. The things I love to eat. So I had to go back to the drawing board and then combine them and see. In the end, all of you who has had something to eat this year, you've loved it. Oh, this is so nice. Oh, this is sweet. Oh, I love it. Oh, you were not having sugar. All the creams around the cakes, yeah, the pipe icing that you were eating, the soft swells around the cookies and stuff, the cinnamon rolls and things that you were eating, they did not have sugar. The only thing that I have not been able to eliminate is the Lotus Biscoff because I am in love with that thing. Okay, so only guilty pleasure at the moment, but we'll get there. Okay, we'll get there. We can't completely cut everything out. But that is a topping. Okay, that is a topping. So I'm really not worried about that. You don't have to have that. Okay. So when I moved this year to a different place, because obviously I've always wanted to test the baked goods on the public, but obviously I lived on the same premises as Pepper Leaf, and of course I am not going to miss cosmetics and food. Okay, they're not going to happen in the same building. You cannot get me to do that. So the oven there was going to waste and everything. But when I moved, okay, over here, the only thing of Pepper Leaf you see is the papers, the computers, and of course, the queen of Pepper Leaf. I am the only person who is here. So I have a big space. I have a kitchen. I have everything. I've been going crazy with baking with my free time. Okay, and I am finally ready to make this project public. I'm finally ready for us to have somewhere that people can go to and have guilt-free desserts. They can go to and have ice creams and not worry about the amount of sugar they are eating. They can go and have a lot of pastries, and the only thing they have to worry about is the flour. You get it? I'm finally ready for that. But then, as my common sense would have me think,